Workplace server. So with that, Evan, I'm going to hand it off to you so you can take them through your portion of the presentation.
Awesome. Thank you, Caroline. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Really excited to be here today. This is the official announcement, introduction of Autotask Workplace Server. We have a lot of content to get through, so I'm going to jump right in with a brief review of the agenda. We're going to talk about our 4 pillars of AWP. Every time you hear me do a release announcement, you'll see me go through these. It's really just important to, again, hammer home on the structure of how and why we develop for Autotask Workplace. We're going to go through the new features. A couple features in addition to Workplace Server are going to be available. We're going to talk about the summary of kind of what we have and what we've displayed today. Caroline's going to give an awesome update on our partner program, really excited to share with you. And then we're going to talk some next steps. All right, so first, I always like to come back and just review the 4 pillars we use at Autotask to deploy, manage, maintain, grow the business, grow our channel partner for Autotask Workplace. They come down to 4 key areas: security, control, and availability, having access to the information you need securely and access whenever and wherever you need to be. Accessibility and usability, it's not enough just to have it on your computer. You need to be able to work from your phone, from the web portal, from anywhere that you may need to be or any device you may be connected via. Effective collaboration, this goes more than just working on PowerPoints together. I say this every time, including this presentation today. Caroline and I used Workplace extensively. Our changes, we merged them together. We were both up pretty late last night tweaking the slide deck for this, so we get all of those changes synced and comments and notifications as people work through them. And then last but not least, the reason you guys are all here with us, we're built for the channel, built for the ITSP, MSP, and Caroline will go through this in a lot more depth. Okay, so the first part of the release we're hitting on this time, and we actually hit all 4 pillars with this release, is security, control, and availability. So again, this gets down to geo-redundant SOC 2 compliant data centers, all the security options you've come to know and expect, and then versioning and control so your files are protected from ransomware, protected from deletion, or even protected from somebody trying to wipe out all your files. So in that regard, we made a couple really cool policy management changes. So first up, we made some changes to the workplace folder location. This one, again, is really helpful for our channel partners because now you can specify within the policy, and this is not a one-size-fits-all. It can be different depending on the group or even down to the individual user. But you can specify where that workplace folder is going to go. So maybe you have some targeted backups that you want to ignore the workplace folder. So now you can consistently make sure it's in the same spot for every PC you deploy. Okay? And again, that's both for Windows and for Mac. Many of you know about the backup functionality built right into the Autotask Workplace agent. So we've also made it a little bit easier for you to manage that for your partners. So we have the ability to preset backup paths for the agents. So when they check in and check online, they'll actually pick up these paths and they can start backing up that information. Again, trying to give you more control at the policy level to make sure you're effectively managing your environments. Actually, one of my favorites are some new special reports we brought as well. So these are only available to super administrators. Normal admins cannot find these. Only your super admin level will have access. But a lot of really important reports here, shares by both project, user, and group. And my personal favorite, one Caroline and I use a lot, public links. So it's always possible that you've given someone public link access and maybe you didn't know what they might be sharing. This gives you one easy report to see all the information that you have shared out publicly. So you can review, make sure, if you're going through an audit, make sure there's nothing that shouldn't be shared, and just see what's out there and maybe do some coaching or training if people are sharing the wrong information. All right, so next up with this, we hit accessibility and usability. So this really comes down to being easy to learn and use and deploy, accessing from the common supported devices, and then being able to view your information again. So built-in viewers for your file types in the cloud and mobile, including editing capability. So what we did here is really make it a lot easier to get access to new users. We did that by bringing in copy user. Workplace Server is really awesome, but this is one of my absolute favorite features because now if somebody's being replacement position or you're promoting someone, you want to give them access to the same type of information, or even onboarding a new technician and you have a standard technician setup, you can take care of a lot of the associations without having to go through piece by piece. So what is carried over when we do a copy user? First and most important are group memberships. If you're following our Autotask Workplace best practices, you know it's better to share projects, folders, and files to groups than individual. Okay? This really drives that home because as you share it to the group, right, and as you share those groups, this will copy over to a new employee. So myself in product management, if we hired a new product manager and we have everything shared based off our product management groups and different assignments, when I add that new person, they're automatically going to get access to any project shared with that group. Okay? So it can be a huge, huge time saver when you're onboarding employees. And again, it gets down to that structured deployment of Workplace being the key to making things easier in the future. Policy profiles, security level, storage quota, time zone, they all come over. Again, a lot of the administration settings that you don't necessarily need to change every single time. But there's important is what's not copied as well. So the first and foremost, project shares. This gets down to security. If you individually share a project and it's not done via the group membership capability, that share will not copy. Okay? We don't know who the owner might be. It could be somebody else. It could be a financial folder. So the only way to get the projects to automatically share with copy are via those group memberships. Okay? So it's really, really important that we do that. Also, username, name, and phone number. Again, that's going to be different with every person. So those are not copied as well, and you have to populate those. So there are three main ways to actually go through and copy a user. First is creating as a copy of an existing. So we'll kind of walk through this. You can see here I have the server user, and you can see I have in this little clicked icon down here, I have my copy option. Once I click that, it's going to bring up and say, okay, here's the information that I really need to be able to do this correctly. I need the first name, last name, email, phone. Okay? And then you're done. That user's copied. So 3 pieces of information, all we need to fill out to copy that user. Okay, now a lot of people in our base use the Active Directory integrations, right? Passwords, keeping things up to date, really, really important, really powerful. So we also have the option right from the Active Directory integrations. So I can now provision as a copy. And you'll see here when that comes up, provision as a copy. So in this case, I don't have to fill out username, last name, first name, phone. It knows that. But I do have to pick the user I want it to be a duplicate of. In this case, it's one of our documentation specialists, Alina. So we're going to copy factor and make them a copy of Alina right from that AD integration. Okay? So that covers most of the way our partners onboard new users. But when you're maybe installing a brand new site with a lot of people, we also have the option to do it right from the bulk import. Okay? So if they don't have Active Directory or you're doing a bulk import before you turn on integrations, whatever reason it may be, you also have the option right from the spreadsheet to say, bring in this department and make them a copy of Lab 2 member or whoever you pick. Okay, so again, really driving that efficiency of copying that user no matter how you choose to build them. Okay, so those service updates are already live and available for you. Now we'll talk about Workplace Server next. We're going to talk about the target date for release of that, which is going to be May 15th. We're going to go through and actually show it to you now. But again, everything I just showed you is live today for you in your customer base. So Workplace Server is really about 2 main pillars. Collaboration, right? So we need to have that market-leading agent syncing and communicating, okay? And that's really the basis of our technology, keeping everything up to date and collaborated across the business. You'll be able to share both internally and externally, and we have to be able to document and notify, right? And we have to know when changes are made. Workplace Server also hits, very important, being built for the channel, right? Partner lead go-to, again, we're going to enable you guys to handle all of your customer environments, whether it's 100% Autotask Workplace or they have a hybrid where there's some Workplace users and some people who may connect to a traditional file server internally, okay? We're going to help support you in both those areas, and I'm going to show you how in a couple of minutes. Operational efficiency. Adding new technology and new features are fantastic, but if it adds a huge administrative burden to you and how you bill and how you work, it doesn't help as much. So we actually focus all of our releases on not only bringing in cool new technology, but how do we minimize the ability and the time that it takes for our partners to manage them. And then the robust partner program. Caroline will go through a lot more on this, but it's something we're all very passionate about, trying as best we can to enable you guys to sell, support, and grow your business. Okay, so first we're going to start with collaboration without Workplace Server. We're going to talk a little about some of the challenges we've seen in the market. So the way we design features here at Autotask, we start with problems. So we start with a problem statement. We go out and we research, we look at our customers, what they're doing, prospects, what they say, and we just try and figure out how can we make their lives easier. So what we came across as a big problem was collaborating in a modern office environment where you have SharePoint, a VPN, a file server for people who are connected internally and are always working out of the office. But then you have a subset of people who are traveling, they're on the road, maybe they're field sales or going off to events, and connecting via VPN and connecting into an office to work on files becomes really laborious. And what always happens, and I'm guilty of this, in some of my last organizations, I didn't want to take the time to log into a VPN or to connect to a remote desktop, so I would just email it to somebody. I have a lot of type-ahead contacts in my Outlook. What if I'm emailing it to Caroline and I email it to the wrong Caroline? And I email it to a customer, and it's stuff for financial or it's stuff for internal release webinars, okay? So we're trying to help prevent that. We're trying to control that sharing because the problems you run into without Workplace Server and in the modern environment with both internal and external employees are slow and complicated connections, right? A VPN, you may already be on a degraded internet service at a hotel or a conference. It's not always user-friendly. Especially with VPNs, a lot of people are going to two-factor authentication, so they have to log in, they have to know how to log in, their password, and then have a mobile phone or an app or some sort of second authentication to get in. You end up with, my favorite, presentation 1, presentation 1.2, presentation final, final, really final, and then you end up changing the title and having something new because you kind of ran out of little things to put at the end of it, okay? So we want to, again, prevent that. And then who's managing it? It can be disorganized. One of the things we do with a lot of our onboarding, and a little bit of history on me, I came from our implementation team at Autotask, is we do an audit, right? We challenge a lot of our customers to say, go look at your shared F drives. Just go take a look and poke around, and you'll be surprised what's being shared that they don't even know about or shouldn't be. It might be accessible to everyone, okay? And that can become compliance issues. That can become, financial issues or even legal issues. So again, how do we kind of help organize and manage and make it easier to use? So in that regard, we built Workplace Server, and that's how we solved the problem that we saw in the market. There's 3 key points to Workplace Server. First, it's got to be designed for server environment. So it is designed to run as a Windows service. It is UI minimalistic. You do not have to be logged in a user profile for it to function. Most of the time, it's just going to function in the background and do its job without you ever having to know about it. We increased the speed settings, so the speed is obviously got to be faster connecting to our cloud than a desktop agent. It's going to handle more files. There's going to be more changes made. So we've increased the speed at which it communicates to our cloud as well, based off the desktop agent. Pop-up notifications, which we've all seen with the desktop agent, are not as helpful on a server. Again, very often these are just kind of running in the background. Someone's not actively logged in or reviewing it. So those notifications can be redirected to administrators, whether via email or text message or both. Okay, so we've had that capability to say, when something goes wrong, I want to let Caroline, my admin, know. We also have the ability with AEM and Autotask Endpoint Management to monitor for the agent as well. So not only can we diagnose from the alerts, but we can also diagnose from an RMM. And then optimize for scalability. This is a really, really big point for us. So we did not build Workplace Server to have any sort of limitations in environments. So if I have a customer who has 50, 60, 100 branch offices, and each office has its own dedicated file server, I can install 50, 60, 100 agents of Workplace Server. I can install those and have them run and have them communicate. We took it a step further. It's not even just discrete local area networks. We can actually have multiple server agents running within the same local area network. So at our headquarters, we have a couple different file servers we might access. We can have an agent installed on all of them, and our desktop agents will know, find out where the file is, find out where it's quickest to get, and they'll pull that information for us. All right, next we needed to talk about collaboration. So we know collaboration is a key point for Autotask Workplace. So how do we effectively enable people to collaborate who may just be connected to a file server and not workplace users. So we did that by taking advantage and integrating with Microsoft file server locking, okay? So the locks that are propagated by a user opening a file on a file server will automatically pass through and tell Autotask Workplace to lock it. Vice versa, when I take a lockout on a file in Autotask Workplace, I'm going to actually pass that lock down through Microsoft and make it accessible to any file server connected user. So it's important that we took both of those and allowed them to sync simultaneously, okay? And what that allows is effective collaboration, whether you're connected to a file server, you're on your phone, you have a workplace agent, really however you need to work in the environment. And last but not least, local area network sync. And this is one of the things we're really, really excited for. There's a lot of places in the world that still may not have the best internet connectivity. They may not have the fastest communications. I mean, Alaska is one, at least for the states, where some of these remote villages could have satellite uploads with very, very minimal speeds. So we want to take advantage of the local area network in that office, and now we can. So we support LAN sync. We've seen in our own testing we can get up to 100 megs internal connection speed. Again, depends on a lot of factors, including the environment, but a huge, huge increase over the normal speed of the desktop agent. And we're going to do it in two different ways. So first of all, Workplace is going to utilize the local area network for a connected agent download. So if I have that server in the building and I have 15 agents, they're actually going to talk right to the server and say, hey, do you have project A? I need project A. Pull it down internally, nothing goes through the cloud, okay? So that's where you can see a really, really huge boost. We also did it the other way. So if I'm on my desktop agent or I'm on a file server and I change a file, the agents and the server are going to communicate it to any connected servers that have that project and to the Workplace cloud simultaneously, okay? So if I have 1 gig file that's shared out to 100 people, it goes from my desktop agent to the server and the cloud at the same time. Then the cloud checks in with the server and says, hey, are we good to go? Do we have the same file? Yes, we do. And now the server will push that out to the other 100 agents. So instead of having 100 different downloads coming down your pipe, it'll use the local area network and not hit your internet connection. So I'm going to show you guys a live demo in a couple minutes, but first I kind of want to show you how it works in a pictorial overview. So here you're going to see I'm opening a file with an Autotask Workplace connected desktop agent. So once I do that, you'll see our nice little lock gets taken out, letting us know that this file is secured, someone's working on it. Once I do that, it's actually going to start propagating those locks out. And you'll see those Windows file locks as well. So it's communicating with the server agent and telling them, hey, John has this file open on John's Autotask Workplace desktop connected agent. Tell Jim connected to the file server, this file is locked, okay? So again, here, we're using our technology and we're collaborating with Microsoft file locks. So every single non-workplace user who's connected to a file server agent down here or over here in the branch office can take advantage of that file locking and can help prevent files from being duplicated or too many copies or, worst case, someone having to reduplicate efforts, okay? Well, very common, you lock things to a desktop agent. But let's say I'm going on the road and I'm using the cloud, and I just want to lock a file because I'm going to do a presentation. I don't want anyone to touch it while I'm preparing. So now I'm going to take a file lock in the AWP cloud. Again, the exact same way, those file locks will start propagating throughout the real estate of that team. Any connected agents, mobile devices, and any connected workplace server licenses. And then it will also propagate down to the file server level as well. Okay? So that's kind of the workplace communicating to the file server. We also built in the option that I can open it on a file server user basis without being a member of an Autotask Workplace team, and I still want to be able to collaborate, lock, and take advantage of a lot of the capabilities. So in this case, I'm going to take out the lock on that PC. It's then going to tell file server, hey, this file is locked. I opened it from the network shared drive. And then the agent will pick it up and it's going to start pushing those locks out everywhere else, okay? So again, it doesn't matter how you're connecting, we're going to take that lock and we're going to pass it on to everyone connected to Autotask Workplace or Autotask Workplace server. All right, so what are some of the benefits before we jump into the demo? Being, again, designed for server. So we have to have those alerts where you need them and when. We don't want to have errors and warnings going to end users or pop-ups on a desktop you may never see. Again, we have a separate server management, so it's for your admins. Again, your end users don't have to worry about maintaining or managing servers. Your customizable permissions for projects, so we have the same sharing technology here, right? You can share it to a server. You can share with edit, modify, create, view only. There's tons of ways you can share it, and we'll go through that in the portal. Optimize for scalability, as many of these you need for as many customers as you have. Better file locking, again, this is where we get into those file locks being shared across everyone. You could have a 500-employee company that needs 100 workplace users and 400 just connected to their file server, doesn't leave the office with their computer. You can have them, everyone can collaborate together. And then again, the faster sync, and this is the one that we've tested extensively, really does increase the speed and decrease your requirements for going external through your internet pipes. So first up, I'm going to walk you guys through installing it, and then we'll go right into the live demo and see it in action. So installing Autotask Workplace Server, very similar to installing a desktop agent. You'll click through and you'll get to this page. Now this page is really important. And it really depends on how that server environment is set up. If you are in a server environment that has a lot of NTFS permissions or specific permissions around folders, files, directories, you need to make sure anything you are sharing to or sharing from, the user you pick has access. So you may have to use an admin account, or you may have a separate account that you want to use and actually log in with an account domain, username, and password, or the local system account may suffice. But it is really important that you know how this environment is going to work and interact, because we do need permission to that folder in order to be able to sync or share to it. Once you do that, it's going to go through its normal installation process. You're going to click Finish. You're going to get the EULA. Again, just accept our end-user license agreement. You can read through it. You probably already have accepted it with your desktop agents. And then it's going to log right in. Okay, and that's the installation process. It takes about 2 to 5 minutes, depending on a lot of different factors locally. A restart may be required if .NET Framework needs to be updated. So if you're doing this on a server, just make sure you're doing it in an off production time, or wait to restart until it's a little more common that you can do it. Okay, so now we are going to transition over to a live demonstration. So you're going to see a couple things in this. We're going to have a VM for a desktop. We're going to have a VM for a server. We're going to have a web portal, and we're also going to have a local mapped network drive. Okay? We're going to go through and show you how you can interact and how you can use Autotask Workplace Server. So first, we're going to go right in to the Autotask Workplace Cloud. Okay? We're going to come in here and we're going to create a project. We're going to call this Workplace Server Release, and it's going to be 4.27. We're going to create the project. Okay? I've created this project. Now, what I need to do is share this project to the server so I can use that server for local caching and for the ability to have LAN sync and shares happen. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to click the Pick from Team button. What you'll notice here, we have different icons. We have the groups, or kind of the multiple people. Individual users are a person. And then we have this kind of server icon for the server. And you can see over here, it'll tell you in the type as well. I'm going to share this to HQ files. Now, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm not going to give full access. And the reason may be you may have people who have full access rights, but if somebody deletes an entire project or something from a server, you don't necessarily want that delete to propagate up into the Autotask Workplace service. So I can limit that the HQ files can only modify or create and prevent the ability for people to be able to mass delete or delete files for you. Okay, so very important to think about how you want to share these out. Outside of your project owners, again, full access, not really necessary. But if you need something deleted, you should probably be checking with someone anyway. All right, and I'm just going to share the project. So now that I've shared the project, we're going to just minimize here, and we're going to go right into our server. All right, you can see in the server here, I have my icon open, but it's easy to get to. Just go right down here, right-click, and you can click Preferences. So we're going to come right into our preferences. So what you're seeing on this preference page is what is currently shared, synced, or sharing from this server and what's available for local agents to connect to. Okay? I'm going to come in here and I'm going to click Sync Project. And we're going to have 3 discrete options. We can create a project from a local folder. So most of your customers will have a lot of existing information already on their file servers that they want to share and create projects for. So we can create the project from the local folder. I'm going to come in here and I could say, let's go into our libraries and let's pick our music. I want to share our music. I've already shared that one, so it won't let me. So we'll pick documents, personal documents. So I've already shared all these, so let's just make new folder. Pick a local folder to sync to. So I've already done a couple of these in testing, so we're just going to go here to the C drive, and we'll pick performance logs. Okay, so I can pick that. I got to name the project so it has something to go into in the cloud. And this is really important. This last option here, pick an owner. You have to pick an owner. A project in Autotask needs to have somebody own it. Okay, and this is where how you deploy becomes very important, because when I'm picking this user, I need to know their credentials so that they can sync the project and actually get that project under their ownership. Okay, so you can do it. In my case, I have a generic server user admin that's managed by my fictitious MSP, or you could have and work with your local team if they have their own admin rights and don't want to give you that access to do it with you. Again, both options are available. You can also create it under yourself and then reassign it in the web portal should you need to. All right, we would hit Create Project, and it would sync everything up and start pulling all the information from that local folder up into Autotask Workplace. The second option, sync something from the cloud to a local folder. Again, maybe I want to share this out to my network drive. So I'm going to pick this one. We're going to take a look here, and you'll see on my F drive what I have listed. So I have some toolkits, I have some branding. So we're going to pick that project, server release, and I'm going to full sync that. And I'm going to pick to put that within my actual mapped network drive. So I'm going to come here to my C drive. I'm going to come into F drive. I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm going to call this WS, period, and I'm going to sync it to WS. Oops, it's not letting me. All right, I'm going to sync that down, and I'm going to sync project into local folder. Okay? We'll do one last thing before we hit OK. We're also going to come in and take a look at merge project with local folder. So this is the most commonly used one. You'll see because I already have my project synced, it won't work. So what I can do then is go right back into the cloud, and I'll come back in here and I'll build a project. We'll call this F Drive 2.0. And we're going to do the exact same process we did before. We're just going to share this to that HQ files. Create and modify only, and share the project. Okay, so we're going to click cancel, click OK here, let that start syncing up, and then we're going to go back in and now merge that with a local. So we'll come back into our preferences. We're going to go to sync a project. We're going to pick merge. And in this case, what we're doing is saying this F Drive 2.0 already existed in 2 locations. So I want to merge this particular one with something that already exists, and then I want to make decisions based off how that's going to work. So I'm going to put this with public documents for now. So what do I want to do? Do I want to keep the local folder with the Autotask Workplace, the most current version, whichever that lives in, keep that as the file? Do I want the Workplace server project, so the cloud, to win and be the master? And then if there's a newer, or there's another version locally, that'll be lost. Or do I want to sync the local copy into the cloud and lose the cloud version if there's a newer one? Okay, most common people will pick keep the most recent version, but again, depending on the individual project and where it may live, all 3 of these options are available to you. We just click OK, click OK on the merge projects, click OK, and now it's going to go through and do that. Okay, so both of those changes are taking effect. So that's how we get projects down locally. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and look at a workplace connected file server through a map drive. So here I have a map drive. Right, and what you'll see here is just that F drive. You can see it on my VM. I'm going to go right into branding. I'm going to go right into templates. I'm going to go to my Word templates. I'm just going to open our Autotask Workplace template. Okay, So I have that template over here now. It's just open in Microsoft Word. So what that's doing, because we have that particular agent, because we have that Workplace Server agent installed, when I go to my F drive, and I go to my branding, and I go to my templates, I go to Word, you're going to see a lock taken out, okay? Because I've opened that template through a file server. I don't have Workplace installed in that machine locally, but because I'm connected to the F drive and the server agent's installed, that lock is now passed into the system, okay? And by extension, that lock is passed every mobile device, every agent that's within our real estate. Okay, so that file lock exists no matter where you are. So when I go to open it, I'll know that something's taken out. Now let's look at it from another scenario. Let's say I want to lock this AEB template. I'm just going to click lock right here. Okay, so that file is now locked. So I'm going to minimize this, and I'm going to just refresh my connection here to the F drive, and I'm going to go and click on the AEB template. And what you'll see is this little warning come up saying, hey, hold on a second. This server user, which is my username from the application, has this file. Do I want to open, create a local copy and merge, or get a notification? So the really cool thing about this, there's nothing different from how they've been working with a file server today. It's the exact same methodology, the exact same interface they're used to. This file is in use by a user. Here are your options, okay? Again, you don't have to worry about installing the agent on that person's machine. Just by connecting to the file server, they get this full functionality of the locks. Okay, so next we're going to go and we're going to look at the end user experience if you have a desktop agent. So I'm going to bring over a Windows 7 VM. I'm going to log in, and I'm going to open my desktop agent. So one of the things that we really were excited to do is minimize as much as possible the end user's interaction with the system and how they have to actually do or change or configure anything. So in order to use Workplace Server and to be connected, the only thing required on the NPC will be to update the agent to our newest agent candidate. What you'll notice here is it's using this HQ files. That's really the only visible impact if they're really looking at the agent they'll see on this home page. Letting them know, hey, we're connected to this server, or it could be multiple servers if you have more than one. Okay? So how does this manifest itself? Well, let's say I want to go in and sync a project. And I want to go in and I want to do a selective sync on this F drive. And I just want to pick, I'm going to uncheck everything. I'm just going to pick branding and the toolkit. I'm going to click OK. And I'm just going to do that sync project. All right? So we're going to cancel out here, click OK. And you'll see it's starting to sync it down. You'll notice here the speed's starting to climb. You have this little icon letting you know you're connected to the server, and it's going to download that from our local area network connected server. Again, they don't even know the file's necessarily there. All they're doing is picking from their project list, and the interface will know, hey, this project's available locally. We can go a little bit faster. We went a step farther, though, because, again, you could have multiple servers connected. You can also have an issue where a server might go offline. So the agent is always still going to be in communication with the cloud. It's going to test its fastest connection available, whether it's server A, server B, or the cloud. And it's going to pull from the fastest connection available. It's also going to know where it left off if an interruption happens. So if my server goes down for whatever reason, it'll actually go and start pulling it right from the cloud or another connected server. You don't actually have to change or resync the file. It's going to know where it left off and start picking it up. Okay? That's really, as far as the end user, the only thing they'll notice is that new server page. But there's a couple changes we made as well to the manager portal, which we'll go through next. So first and foremost, how do we manage the servers themselves? So when we come into our team page, and again, this is only visible for admins, so you don't have to worry about your average user seeing this. We're going to go to Manage Servers. We're going to have a couple options. One, you can see how many servers might be there. You can click right on. You can start and see all your projects that are synced. And are they fully synced? Is anything still running through? You can see that file that I kept locked. Any sync errors you may have. Again, not necessarily having to log into the server, but seeing it from the admin portal. Your activity log, and you'll see a huge log here as things come in, things get reports, different files check in and out, and then connected devices. And it's very possible here that my desktop VM could be connected through multiple servers. So I would see this on each server page where it's applicable. Okay. Couple really cool options here. You have alert policy. You can get you to this nice radio button or this manage button. And this is where you can customize how you want to be alerted for this server. So you can pick every administrator. You can select administrators, email or email and text, the alert events, and then you can default this for every server under this team. So you build it once and apply it to everyone else. That way, maybe only your technicians or your help redirect address into Autotask PSA are getting those notifications. All right, you have configure IP. What you're seeing right here was automatically picked up by the agent. I did not have to configure this. If you have additional secure sites, and maybe you have a tunnel connection or you have additional IP ranges that you want to be able to connect to this particular server, you can actually add those in right here. So it doesn't necessarily have to just be on a local area network. If it's faster connection in the cloud, it could still use it if you have maybe a pipe between the two or some sort of setup that allows additional IP addresses to connect. And then last but not least, you have the same options with the desktop agent, disable and or recycle. So maybe the server is being replaced, maybe you're redoing it or you're putting in a new server. You can come right in here and take care of disabling or recycling that server. Okay, so those are the changes you'll see as far as the end user. Now let's talk about what you guys as resellers will need to know. So we're going to go and log in here to our reseller portal. So this is for the team that I was just looking at. We have the option. And we're going to come in here and we're going to first look at the PSA integration. So when you look at the PSA integration, what you're going to notice is you'll see a couple additional services that does not exist for you today. And what you'll see is Workplace Server License right here, and then Workplace Server License monthly. Okay? So this is how we now bill for these. So what you'll do is actually get these bills to go through. And then when we go to a team and we create a new team, we can follow the same process we've always followed. I can put in here Autotask. I'm going to give them maybe 10 seats, allocate their licenses, add additional storage, and then map them to a PSA company. Okay? And what this will do is automatically create that bill or create that team under that reseller and make sure you're billing for exactly what you're using. Okay? And that's all available right in the manager portal. Okay. We're going to jump back to our PowerPoint, and I know you guys might have a lot of questions, and I promise we will leave a couple minutes at the end for your questions, but we'll do a quick review of kind of what we just went through. Okay, so what have we released with the Workplace Server release? Again, we hit all 4 pillars. So we have our new reports and policy updates. Copy user, again, I'm really, really excited for. Really cool feature, one of our top feature requests when we do our survey every single year. And then Workplace Server, again, which hits on 2. Obviously, Workplace Server, we're really excited for it. It's a lot of functionality and a lot of operational efficiencies that we're really excited to bring to you. So what are the next steps? We are targeting May 15th for release. To give you guys an understanding, we've gone through an extensive beta program over the last couple months to make sure it's scalable. We have all the kinks worked out and we're ready to go. We're very confident today in the target of May 15th, but that is subject to change if anything comes up or any issues come up as we're finalizing our beta. You're going to get release notes. You'll get a pop-up notification like you normally do, and it's going to be online help updated as well. So you'll see in the help, Workplace Server, how to use it, how to deploy it, what it is. We're going to have the server system requirements, deployment workflow, and end user agent information available to you. So we will have a new agent being released on that target of May 15th. And then what I can expect from you guys, again, start using this internally. Once you get your hands on it, once you start using it and start deploying it, you'll see there's a lot of opportunity to grow and really extend out your business. We had one partner in our demo who actually used Workplace Server to help a hardware sale. They deployed it. They kind of showed the management team, hey, we can get you guys a lot more connection speed internally if we just update your network infrastructure, okay? Because they're actually being limited by the infrastructure to take full advantage of all the speed Workplace Server could provide. Okay, so again, it's really, really important to understand that we want to be here to help you, and that's why I'm going to now turn it over to Caroline, who's going to explain how we're going to help the partners and how we're going to deploy this through our partner program. So Caroline, over to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Evan, and nice job as always. I know partners have been anticipating this release for some time, so nice job, and hopefully everyone on the line is as excited as we are about this release. So for those of you that may have joined just a couple of minutes late, my name is Caroline Chapin, Channel Marketing Manager at Autotask, and my main responsibility here is to develop and manage our partner programs. And in doing that, it's all about creating the tools and resources you need to be successful to help market it, to sell it, and support it on your own. So with that, I thought I would just take a couple of minutes to give you a quick review of what the benefits are that you're eligible for when you do join the program. As active partners, I'm hoping you're taking advantage of those, but we have some new partners on the line. I thought it would be useful just to do a quick review. I'll then give you an update on the Workplace Server communication plan so you can keep an eye on upcoming communications that will be relevant to you as partners and to the market. Also, I will give you an update on the Workplace Server partner resources that we'll be adding to the toolkit to help support your marketing and sales efforts around Workplace Server. And then just as Evan did, I'll share some next steps that you can use to get started and start sharing this with your clients and prospects and start selling it. So with that, let's jump right in. So I know a lot of you have been partners for some time, but for the new partners out there, I just want to call attention to the nice list of benefits we have for our active partners, and I want to call attention to just a few of them. So I'm hoping by now you know who your account manager is. Every partner has a dedicated account manager that truly is your single point of contact for everything related to Autotask. Most likely some of you or all of you are also Autotask PSA customers and or endpoint management customers, so you probably are already aligned with an account manager. If for some reason you're not and you don't know who that is, please reach out to me directly. I'll share my contact information again at the end, or you can email sales@autotask.com to find out who that person is. I also want to highlight the new Partner Development Management role. We introduced this past year. It's proving to be a huge success in helping partners get onboarded and develop your Autotask Workplace business. We believe wholeheartedly in a joint marketing and sales approach with our partner program, and the Partner Development Managers are there to aid you in a joint sales approach. They can help you sell your initial starter pack licenses. They can help you by joining you on a discovery call with one of your clients or prospects. They can help you do that first product demonstration to help you win business. So if you're not already working with a Partner Development Manager, please reach out to your account manager and they will certainly hook you up and do an introduction. I'm hoping that everyone on the phone is definitely making use of your free internal use licenses. This comes standard with every partner that joins our program because we believe that you should be using the product internally to not only support your business, but of course to support your sales and support efforts. So hopefully you've deployed them. Hopefully you're using them. I joined Autotask about 16 months ago. I use Autotask Workplace every day, and the more you use it, the more comfortable you are to talk about it, to talk about the value to your clients and prospects. So hopefully you and your teams are making use of those licenses. And then I have to call attention to the Partner Playbook and Partner Toolkit. This is really the crutch of your sales and marketing and enablement resources, okay? And I'll dive into these a little bit deeper, but hopefully you're making use of these. Every new partner receives a link to the toolkit when you receive your welcome email. More on that in just a moment. And then, of course, support. So just as you're supporting your clients directly, we're here to support you. So if you do run into a question that you're unable to answer after looking at your self-help online documentation, or you can call support for assistance to get that next level support if it's something that you just can't figure out on your own. Again, we're here to help you. So that was a quick refresher on the overall benefits. Here's just a quick snapshot of some of the key tools and resources that are in the toolkit. We really try to make it as easy as possible for you to co-brand and go to market easily to help sell Autotask Workplace and now Workplace Server. So we give you things like product logos and partner logos and customizable email templates and social share messaging to support the buyer's guide, for example. We also have a client-facing presentation that you can use. And all of it, along with these great pieces of collateral, are all co-brandable with your logo, your company, and contact information. I believe that a consistent co-branding experience is really important for our partners, so you can go to market, feel confident in not only the collateral and the content that you're presenting, but Autotask is there behind you as your partner. So hopefully you're all either using those or have at least seen them. And ultimately, it's the partner playbook that wraps all of this together. This truly is your single point of reference to help you get onboarded, help you get enabled, and get you selling and supporting Autotask Workplace. These are some of the key sections that I just want to call out if you haven't already done some of these things. Technical enablement is so important, and we ask that every partner delegates at least one resource to go through our series of 3 technical live training sessions. They're available via webinar. And you can sign up for those either right here in the playbook. We provide the link, section 1.3, or you can, within the Autotask Workplace Manager login page, there's a tile there that directs you right to training registration. I encourage you to take a look. The playbook also takes you through different ways that you can generate revenue with Autotask Workplace, whether it's project-driven, monthly recurring revenue by bundling it right in with your managed services portfolio. We talk about those different ways you can do that, and we talk about sales enablement, getting your team up to speed, comfortable selling and talking about Workplace to your clients. But I really want to focus on this next section because Workplace Server being a new add-on to Autotask Workplace, it's important that we arm you with the information you need to discover now the opportunity for Workplace Server in your client base. A lot of you have been selling Autotask Workplace for some time, so you have existing Autotask Workplace desktop agents out there with your clients. But what does that mean now for Server? How do you uncover the opportunity? How do you talk to those existing clients that are already using Workplace, right? So we're going to help you there. This is a section that we're working to update, and we'll make that available to you in the coming days. The other one is running plays. So we've created some different assets and collateral to help support your marketing and sales efforts. And again, we'll walk you through the plays in the playbook that you can use to generate leads and drive new business for your organization. So keep an eye on these 2 sections, more on when all this will be available in just a moment. But for anyone that's not leveraging the playbook, please, I encourage you to go out, look at it. It's constantly being updated, little tweaks here and there. So don't just download it and save it to your hard drive or a local drive. Make sure you're accessing the most current in the toolkit, okay? So next, I just want to show you some of the nice resources and assets and tools that we're putting together to support Workplace Server. All of this information is starting to be rolled out now to your toolkit, but by May 11th, everything will be completed. So I just mentioned the partner playbook. We're making some nice updates there to help with your sales efforts, help with your marketing efforts. We have a roadmap brief that's available in the toolkit now. I encourage you to look at this because what I really like about this is it not only talks about the key features and functionality that are being rolled out with this release, but it also talks about the benefits to you as a service providers, just as Evan covered in his presentation, but it also covers the benefits to your clients. Again, Evan touched on that, but this is a nice reference document that you can use to start preparing for those conversations with your clients and prospects. We've updated some new logos to support the Autotask Workplace Server product, and we've also created a product overview for Workplace Server. So this is another key asset that you can use to drive leads and interest within your base. We give you email templates that are customizable, and we'll be giving you a client-facing presentation as well. I also am working with Evan to do a nice client-facing recorded demo that we'll be putting in the toolkit, as well as updating our website to include a client-facing solutions page, a place that you can direct your customers to get more information about the product itself, not the partner program, just the solution itself. So these are the things that are in the works, some of them completed already. Everything will be done by May 11th. So how can you add Workplace Server to your catalog? It really comes down to engaging with your account manager. Your account manager will have everything they need for you to get started on May 5th. Okay, so we're just a short time away. Everyone's closing out month end, so let's focus on that, and then let's look at getting signed up with Workplace Server come May 5th. There will be a very simple contract addendum that will need to be signed that will include the new pricing, the new terms and conditions, but will also allow you to co-term Workplace Server with your existing Autotask Workplace contract. So it's meant to be very simple, all digital, and done through DocuSign, just like you did with your original paperwork. Okay? If you have any questions at all about this process, please reach out to Evan or I, and we would be happy to assist you. So let's talk about communication. So it all starts with letting you all know today the official announcement to our existing partner base is today, April 27th. It didn't start today. We did start talking about it at ACL in our advisory meeting last September, and we've held a series of advisory meetings throughout the first half of this year to really start talking about Workplace Server, the benefits to you as partners, the benefits to your clients. So hopefully today's not the first you're hearing it, but if you are new, then great. Glad you were able to attend and hear it firsthand from Evan, who's extremely passionate about this release, as we all are. So it starts today. May 3rd, we'll be doing a press release. So I should say that's our target date is next Wednesday. I do believe we'll hit that date. If not, it may just be a day or two later, but we will keep you posted on that, and that will be the official public announcement. The partner resources will all be available in your toolkit by May 11th. I've created a separate subfolder for Workplace Server Release, which you will see when you go right into the toolkit. Very, very easy. And we're also setting up a follow-up training. So this was really primarily about the technology itself, very detailed with a live demo, updates on partner resources that are coming to aid you with your sales efforts and your marketing efforts, but we want to help you sell now. So Len DiCostanzo, who I know probably all of you know, is going to set up a webinar with me on May 11th, and we'll be sending that invitation out to you early next week so that you can plan for it. But now it's about, like I said, uncovering the opportunity for Workplace Server in your base with your prospects. How do you talk about it? How do you position it? That's what we're going to cover on May 11th. Okay, so stay tuned for that. The target public release, as Evan mentioned, is May 15th. Subject to change, but we do feel pretty confident that we'll hit that date. And then the week of May 15th, Len and I were talking, and we'd like to try something a little different and offer up a separate webinar for your clients, for your end users to attend, where you could drive them to attend this webinar and we can do the presentation for you. It could really help speed up the sales process for you. It could help reduce your time to incremental revenue. So I'll keep you posted on that. We will be sending out notification on that next week. Okay, something different we'd like to try to help you really simplify the sales process on this. Okay, so some next steps. Very simply, if you're interested in Workplace Server, which I hope all of you are, it's definitely something that will add a lot of value and help you to better serve your clients. Call your account manager May 5th and have a look at the addendum and get that signed, and you'll be on your way. Definitely look at that roadmap brief. There's some nice details and reminders in there about the features, the functionality, the benefits to you, and the benefits to your client. We will be recording this webinar, as I mentioned earlier, so we will be making that available to you in the toolkit, and I will be emailing you the link in a couple of days. So definitely reference this webinar for reminders, for information as you need, or share it within your organization to others that were not able to attend today. And please use the partner playbook. You can start pre-selling Workplace Server now. For those of you that have been kind of in the loop along the way, maybe you've attended an advisory meeting, maybe you've been on a call with Evan one-on-one, or Moshe, or Len, or one of your partner development managers, you can start pre-selling now. Don't be afraid. Please use the playbook. Everything will be updated by May 11th. And certainly, you know, I'd like to try this client-facing webinar for you. I would encourage you to invite them to attend the webinar when we send the invitation out next week. I'd really be curious to see what kind of response we get, because we just really want to help. And then, of course, a reminder that we'll be offering some sales training for you as partners, for you and your teams to attend on May 11th. The invitation will go out next week. Most importantly, you know, it's a great opportunity. Start increasing your MRR now. Hopefully you'll embrace this right away, and anything that we can do to simplify the process, please, we're always open to feedback and suggestions, and just want to make for a great partnership. So with that, I thank everyone for attending, and we'll move now. I'd just like to congratulate everyone for taking the time out of your day. I know you've got a business to run, so appreciate you joining us to learn from Evan, from myself, about this great new offering that we have from Autotask.